here we have to find that how many for example, minimum number is there, and how many times the minimum number is, and maximum number is there, and what is the maximum maximum digit count and minimum digit count, and try to write using a single loop. And here and min count is equal to 0, and max is equal to 0. I'm writing something here. Okay. Minimum value is greater than, r is greater than first of all I'm going to concentrate on minimum value, then I will go for maximum value. That is going to be the number. And minimum count is equal to 1, for example, else if it is equal to 1, and else if it is okay, min c plus is equal to 1. I will try to find it out how many times min c is equal to. If I go to execute it, if it is the number, it is not coming out. Number is equal to number 5 by 10. This is the input, and this is going very good. It is coming like this. For example, min c is equal to 0. It is for values. Zero. And before I execute it, it is going to find 1 only. Okay. Just delete everything. For example, I am going to think that the last digit is the minimum value. The last digit is minimum value. I am going to take this value as 1 here. I'm going to take this value as 1. Minimum count is 1, for example. And here, if both are equal, for example, if both are equal, that means r is equal to min c is equal to both are equal. I am going to write min c plus is equal to 1. Else if both are not equal, and and if r is less than min c, then we have to modify it. Then I have to modify it, and then r is equal to min c. Then r is equal to min c, and sorry, not min c. R is equal to minimum. To write this code, min is equal to minimum. Then I am going to increment it. Then it is going to be minimum. R is equal to minimum, not minimum is equal to r. Minimum is equal to r. Then min c is equal to 1 again. Is equal to 1 again. I'm going to found it min c. Now I'm going to execute it. If this is the input, that is going to be 2 here. If this is the input, if I'm going to execute it, then it is going to be 4. It is going to be 4. It's 0 here. Here it is 0. Okay, I will check it out. 3 times. It's 2 times. Okay, here 3 times and here 2 times. Okay, that is good. So try to understand what I'm writing here. There is no need of these two values, right? There is no need of these two values. Okay. Here I'm taking the last digit as minimum value. The last digit as minimum value. For example, just look at this example. Just look at this example. In what way I'm going to find it? Just look at here. Yes, this is the example here. And I am taking that minimum value is equal to 1. First of all, there is no maximum value. For example, consider that, and then minimum is equal to minimum count is also 0. Okay, minimum count is also 0. And coming here, and this is the number. This is the number, and I am going to get here 1, and here I am going to get the number like this. Everything you know that, right? I am checking the main focus on my main focus on. I am going to check is the minimum value what is R value here? R value is equal to 1 and minimum value is also 1. If both are equal, I am going to count it as 1 here. I am going to count it as 1. If it is already initially 0, I am going to count it as 1 here. Okay, and again it is moving like this and it is moving like this, and if it is, and it is going to be cut the number like this. 121 is equal to 1 and 12, and again it is going to be checked that is 1 is equal to 1 or not. Yes, 1 is equal to 1, then immediately it is going to be, again it is going to be 2, and then it is going to be 3, like that. For example, here the main problem is like this. The main problem is like this. If the minimum number is, I am thinking that if the minimum number is going to be like that, and R value is equal to 4, R value is equal to 4. Just observe here, everyone. I'm going to take 4 is equal to 4. Is it true or not? Yes, and minimum count is equal to 1. Okay, minimum count is equal to 1 here. Then the next time it is repeating like this, and the next value is going to be 3, and it is going to be like this. R value is 3, and the minimum value is equal to 4. Is both are true? No, it is not true. And coming to here, 3 is less than 4. Is 3 is less than 4? Yes. Then I am going to reset it. Then that means the minimum value is going to be 3, and I am going to reset. Then I am going to reset the value. The minimum value is 1 again. For example, there are 4 4s, or for example like this. At this point, the minimum count is 3. When the 3 is coming here, this is the minimum value, and how many times it is appeared, that is going to be only 1 time. That's why I am going to reset the value here like this. Again, the next value is going to be 2 here. R value is equal to 2. Then again I am going to check that R value is 2. 2 is equal to 3. No, not at all. Then it is checking that is 2 is less than 3. Yes. Then minimum is equal to 2, and again minimum count is equal to 1 only. Minimum count is equal to 1 only. Again the value is going to be like this, and the 1 R value is 1 and num value is 12. And it is checking that is 1 is equal to 2. No, this is also false. Then it is checking that is 1 is less than 2. Yes. Then minimum value is going to be 1, and again minimum count is also 1 again. And the next time the R value is 2, num value is 1. It is checking that now the minimum value is going to be 1 and R is equal to 2 here. It is checking that is 2 is equal to 1. No, false. And it is coming here like this, and is 2 is less than 1. Is 2 is less than 1? No, that is also false. Then it is not entering into this block. 2 is less than n. That 2 is less than 1. That is not entering into the block. And while 1 and R value is 1, and this num value is equal to 0, and it is going to be checked that is 1 is equal to 1. Yes, then minimum count is going to be incremented as a 2, and it is coming out of the loop, and it is going to be print what is the minimum value of that number. Clear everyone? Is it clear? The same thing I am going to do for the maximum also. I am going to do the maximum also, the same loop. In the same loop, I am going to write the same conditions again. I am going to write the same condition is equal to maximum. Here I am going to write maximum. Maximum. If R is equal to maximum, I am going to write here max C. Maximum, then maximum is equal to R, and I am going to increment it like this. If R is greater than maximum, then maximum is equal to R, and I am going to write max C is equal to 1 here. Just simply I am going to print max C. If I am going to execute it, if the number is this one, this is the one, and 1 is 3 times, 1 is the 3 times, and 3 is for 1 time. Is it clear everyone? This is very simple logic, right? Very simple logic. If other than minimum value is there, just simply I am going to reset the value. If the new minimum value is there, then again I am going to start the count from 1 here. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Here this is these two for minimum and these two for maximum. If R is equal to maximum, I am going to increment it. For example, if there is any new maximum or new minimum, I am going to modify the minimum value, and I am going to reset the value with 1 here. I am going to reset the value with 1 again. That is the very simple logic here. Okay? I think it is clear. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now I am going to teach you that functions concept, and how the functions are going to be in this, and I'm going to give you a simple introduction, very simple, and functions in Python is very easy as compared to the any other programming languages. I'm going to give you a brief intro about functions concept. Why I'm giving a functions concept here? You have to do the remaining programs, the remaining any program. For example, if I go for lists or tuples or anything, you have to do using functions only. That's why I'm going to give you the intro about functions concept. Very simple thing. In a function call, in function every time there are going to be function call. We have to maintain function call and function definition. It's simple. Two things is there every time: function call and function definition. There are two parts: function call and function definition. If there is a if anyone is missing, there is no use of that. There is no use of that. For example, I'm going to write power of 2, 3. What is the power? What is power here? POW. What is power here? What is POW? I'm writing like this, and it is going to be give some value. That is a function. That is a predefined function. I'm going to call the function like this. I'm going to call the function with two values. For example, if it is only single value, it is telling that you have to missing an required argument. You are going to miss a required argument, and it is going to be give an error here. That means whenever you are using a power function, you have to follow two values. No doubt about that, two values. What is this? And this is going to be a function call. A function call of what is the name of the function here? What is the name of the function? We have to observe POW is the function name. We have to observe from every time. We have to observe something about function call every time. What is the name of the function? that is going to be POW. Okay, POW, and it requires two arguments, both are integers. Okay, is it returning any value or not? In any programming language, Rishi, okay, in any programming language, we have to observe all these things. What is this? What values? What is the name of the function? How many arguments it is passing, and is it returnable or not? Is the function is returning any value or not? If I am going to write like this, can anyone tell me that is the function is returning any value or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, remaining
sir.
students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, it
Yes,
is
sir.
returning something. Definitely, it is returning something. That's why it is printing 8 here. Okay. For example, I'm going to take here print of POW of 2 comma 3. If I am going to execute it, it is going to be print 8. I am going to call this method and I am going to put in a function, in a printf. In a printf. For example, I am going to take here printf is also a function, right? Printf is also a function. Can anyone guess what is the value of a here?
8,
Is it
sir. 8, sir.
8.
8. 8.
what it is? Here it is just observe here, it is returning the value of 8. This is returning the value of 8, and this is the value of returning 8, and it is going to be print. Now I am going to tell you that print of, that is also one function. That is also function. I am going to assign it to one variable here. I am assigning one variable to a here, that printf into a here. If I am going to execute it, what it is printing? What it is printing?
None.
None means
None, sir.
the
None, sir.
function has no return value. The function has no return value. If you are trying to print a function without a return value, it is always none. It is always none. Is it clear? Is it clear? There are so many functions with
sir.
none. When we are going to the next level, I will definitely show the type of methods. The printf is also a function and power is also a function, right? Both are functions, and the printf function is not passing any arguments here. That is not returning any values here. If I am writing like this, this is a method with values, and with return type also. If I am going to execute it, it is going to be print 2 here. There are just note down. There are two parts. The first one is going to be function call, and the second one is going to be the function definition. And there are two types of, we are always using two types of methods only. Two types of methods or functions. Two types of functions. One is always, I'm going to give you the priority values. Okay, function with arguments and with return type, the most useful thing, the function with function call with just like this function with is enough. Function with arguments and with return value, not type, with return value. And the next one is sometimes maybe function with arguments without return value, a return value. These are two always we are going to use it. Okay, this is going to be 90% and this is going to be 9%. Okay, in any programming language, not only in C or any Python or anything, we are mainly focusing on these two, and I'm going to focus on this one. Mainly I'm going to focus on this one. Function with argument, that means I am going to pass some arguments and I am going to get some value from the function. For example, if you are doing some work to or something else, for example, you are studying BTech, right? You are studying BTech, that is going to be one function, and after final year, you get some knowledge is the return type, and some certificate as a return type, and job as the return type. You are getting three values. You are your BTech life, and you are getting some three values as a return type. Okay, like that, whenever you are working on that, definitely you get some benefit from that work. That is the example of this one. We are giving our life 4 years of life to the BTech function, and we're getting the written values as job and knowledge and something, your friends, and so many things you have to get from that function. Okay, this is about functions and how to write a functions here. The same program I am going to write here. What is that? Power. For example, power are sum of two numbers. Okay, sum of two numbers I am going to write. That means I am going to write a comma b here. This is going to be written, and my intention is not to teach how to add two numbers. Okay, how to add two numbers. For example, some result is equal to a plus b, and I am going to return here res. My intention is not to teach what is the value of here. Just simply when we are writing, this is going to be a function definition. You have to write the syntax like this: def keyword, then you have to write the name of the function, and you have to write that function arguments and everything, and you have to write the block of the statements, and you have to return that. Whenever we are going to any function definition, we have to write def keyword. Okay, def keyword, fun of, and like that. And always we have to maintain the function definition in the bottom only. For example, I am going to write like this. If I am going to execute it, some r is equal to, I am going to print of r. Going to print of r. If I am going to execute it, it is going to be print. It is going to be print 3 here. Now we have to observe something from this sum function. What is that? What is the name of the function? This is going to be the function call. Okay, function call. Just observe everyone. What is the name of the function, students?
Sum, sir.
The name of the function is going to be sum. How many arguments I am passing? How many arguments I am passing?
2.
Arguments I am passing. Okay, 2 arguments I am passing. Is the function has the written value or not?
Yes, sir.
This is the
Yes,
main
sir.
thing.
Yes, sir.
If the
Yes, sir.
function has the written value,
Yes, sir.
then how
Yes,
you
sir.
know that? How you know that the function has the written value? How you know that this function has a written value?
Return statements.
Don't think this one.
Sir, r
We don't
equal to
know.
sum of 1,
We
2.
don't know this one. We don't know that one. How you know that? Yes. Using this, a function is assigned to some variable, right? A function is assigned to some variable. If the function is assigned to some variable, definitely this function has a written value. This function has a written value. And or for example, I am going to write in any printf statement. For example, I am going to write here sum of 1 comma 2. Sum of 1 comma 2. If a function call is not assigned to, here the function call is not assigned to any variable, but the function call is inside a print statement, then at this way also that function has a written value. The function has a written value, and sometimes it is going to be working as a condition of a if or while. I am going to write like this: if sum of a comma b, that means this at this time also the function has a written value. If the value is there, then only it is going to be checked that is it true or not, right? And all these conditions, for example, if it is going to assign it to any variable, then also it has a written value. For example, if the function is directly printing using a print statement, then also it has a written value, and it is going to be, the function call is going to be used as a condition of if or while or anything, then it is also containing the written value. Then how you know that without written value? How you know that without written value means simply the function is going to be like this. Simply the function is going to be like this, that is not assigned to any variable, It is not used in the print statement, and it is not used as a condition. Yes. Then when you are seeing the function like this, just simply you tell that yes, this function has no return value. Clear everyone? Clear everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. Good. When the function is coming, like when the function call is like this, don't use return statement here. Just simply you have to print the result. That means it is going to be print the result. It expecting the result has to be printed. That's it, nothing else. Okay. Here, for example, I am going to write like this. It is going to be like this, and simply I am going to print R here. That means what is the action performing in this functional definition? The value is going to be written. For example, what are the values here? 1, 2 are I'm passing into the functional definition, and here this value, the result is going to be 3, and it returns the result 3 here. That means it is going to be return 3 here. It returns 3. Then it is coming here, and this is going to be overwrite with 3. Then that what is it? What is the function returning that is assigned to R here? That is going to be overwrite here. That means what is the value? What is the value of sum 1, 2? That is going to be 3. That is going to be replaced here. Is it clear? Is it clear, students? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. For example, here I am going to return some 100. Can anyone tell what is the output of this program? What is the output of this program?
100.
3, sir.
Only 100 or 3?
Only 3, sir.
Only
3,
100, sir.
sir.
Only 100
Only-
or only 3 or both?
Only 100, sir. Only 100.
Only 100, sir.
Only 100 or only 3? Remaining students, you have to answer it.
Only 100.
Take attendance here 165. 168. Yes. Here, when the function call is there, I'm going to write some a is equal to int of input of, I'm going to write like this, and b is equal to int of input of, then I'm going to write the function call. I'm going to pass these values a comma b like this. Okay. And this is the first line, and here I'm going to read 1. This is the second line, I'm going to read 2 here, and this is going to be the function call, I'm going to pass it as sum 1, 2 I'm passing. Now, if the function call is there, the control is automatically goes to the function definition. The function definition here. When the function call is there, the control is automatically goes to the function definition. If there is no function definition, for example, if there is no function definition, I am going to give 1 and 2. It is going to be give that it is going to be give an error here like this. It is going to be give an error like this. Okay, and here sum of, I'm going to write sum of two numbers. Here I am going to execute it. This is 1. If I am going to execute it, I am going to give 1 and 2 here. Just observe here a name error. That is going to be a name error. What it is telling that name sum of two numbers is not defined. It is telling like this. Sum of two numbers is not defined. Yes, the function is not defined, right? That's why it is giving an error here like this. Here I am going to take, this is the function name and this is the function name. Okay. Now, if the function call is there, now the control is automatically goes to the function definition. Okay, with that required arguments, it is going here. For example, if the syntax is not matched, for example, here I am passing only one argument. Here it is two arguments. For example, it is going to be 1 and 2. Just observe here. Just observe here. Sum of two numbers missed one required position argument B here. Yes, that means if the signature also you have to match. Not only the name. Here, how many values I am passing? I am passing only one value, but it is getting here two values. That is also a mistake. You have to maintain the proper syntax, proper structure of the function definition. Okay, now I am going to write when the function call is there, it is checking all these values. The name is there or not. For example, if there is a simple mistake here, if it is 1 and 2, it is telling that it is not defined. Just simply when you are when the error is like this, that means the error is in here only. Okay, just simply I am going to modify it. Okay, and again we have to pass here I am going to pass two values. Here also we have to pass we have to get two values. Yes, now the syntax and everything is properly corrected. Here then it is moving into this one. When the function call is there, the control is automatically moves to the functional definition. Now it is going to be executed normally, and 1 plus 2 is equal to 3. And the next value after doing some operations, return 100. The control, if the control reaches a return value, immediately the control is moving back to the function call. That is not in the functional definition at all. In any programming language, if the control reaches a return statement, the control is moves back to the function definition, moves back to the function call, it is not in the functional definition. That's why the output is only 100. Why? Because here I am returning 100, then the control is moving back here and it is going to be replaced with 100. And it is going to be print 100. If I am going to execute it, if the values are 1 and 2, the value is going to be 100, only 100, not the remaining values. Clear? Is it clear, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Some students are tell that here the value is 3. The control never reaches to this statement. Okay? The control never reaches to this statement. That's why it is not working here. That means from here we are going to return only one return statement, not the multiple return values. Multiple return statements we cannot execute in a single function definition. We can execute only one return statement. If it is executed, the control moves back to the function call. Okay? Now the output is going to be like this. 3 only. And here I am going to write 3 values. I'm going to take 3 values here. ABC. I'm going to pass here ABC, and here also I'm passing ABC and plus C. I'm not anything. Just simply I'm going to write 1 enter, 2 enter, 3, and it is going to be print 6. That's it. Now, why I'm telling this one? For example, I am going to miss this value. What is the value? What is the output here?
Error.
This is going to be an error. No doubt about that. This is going to be an error. Now, I'm going to write here this. I'm going to write. Now the default values of these values, we can assign default values also. How we are going to assign a default values? For example, I'm going to write like this. Simply I'm going to write like this. I'm going to assign all values to 0. What it is? Can anyone guess if I'm giving here 1, 2, 3? What is the output here? Can anyone guess? It is not an error.
0, sir.
What is the output here?
0, sir.
How it is executing here? These are the default values. If I pass the values, that is going to be overwrite here. If I'm going to execute it, if I give these values, it is simply printing as a 6 only. Then what is the use of that assigning A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0 and C is equal to 0? For example, if I miss any value here, just observe here, it is not giving any output. That is not giving any error here. I am passing here only 2 values. Here I am going to pass only 2 values and it is going to be written a 2 here. That means here I am not passing C, right? Now it is not showing any error here. Why? Because A value is replaced with 1, B value is replaced with 2, but the C value is the default value as 0 only. We can call this method like this also now. For example, if I call like this, is it possible to call the function like this? Students, try to observe it.
Yes, sir.
Is it possible? Is it possible to call the function like this? Only single argument?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
definitely
Yes,
it is going to be possible here. That means the default values are there. That's why we can pass, we can call without arguments also I can call. Without arguments also I can call it. The function is going to be 0 here. Okay, these are this is a new feature in Python. Okay, that is a new feature in Python. That means we can assign different, that is default values to the values also. Okay, here I am going to pass A is equal to 0, B is equal to 0 and C is equal to 0. These are the default values. I can call this function without arguments or with 1 argument or with 2 arguments or with 3 arguments also. Now, for example, if I am not mentioning this one, I can call this function with at least 1 argument is there. At least 1 argument is there. Yes? Is it okay with you or not? I can, if the function definition is like this, definitely you have to pass one function, one value, no doubt about that. Why? Because the 2 values has the default values and 1 value has a not default value. That's why at least you have to pass one single value. For example, I'm going to write like this. Now students,
2 values, sir.
Single value will be passed.
2 values, sir.
okay, if I'm going to execute it, it is going to be an error here. What is that error? Just read it out. Non-default arguments follows default arguments. That means whenever all the default arguments are in the left hand side, right hand side only every time. For example, if I give like this is the non-default value, right? This is the non-default value. These are going to be in a right, left hand side and these values are from the right hand side. Always right hand side. If I'm executing like this, this is not an error here. Okay, but you are going to write like this. This is an error. The default values are in the right hand side. If I'm going to execute it, it is definitely an error. This is definitely an error. Okay, all the default values are going to be placed from the right hand side. From the right hand side only we have to place it. Is it clear? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, these are the new things when you learn Python functions. That is not in C or any other programming language. These are especially in Python. And one more thing, I'm going to print I'm going to print here without printing any value. What is A value, what is B value, and what is C value. Okay. And I'm going to return something that is going to be result is equal to A plus B plus C. I'm going to write like this. If I'm going to executing here, I'm going to give the values like this. A value is 1, B value is 2, and C value is 3. Like that, it is going to be print. Why? Because here I'm passing A to A, B to B, and C to C. And here I'm going to pass here A is equal to A is equal to B. I think, is it possible or not? B is equal to A, comma C is equal to also A. I'm going to write here. Just observe here what it happens. For example, we can write like this also. A is equal to A, B is equal to A, and I'm going to maintain the values is X, Y, Z. Okay, then we will understand what I'm writing here. X, Y, Z. X comma Y comma Z here, and I'm going to maintain X plus Y plus Z. Now this is going to be X, this is going to be Y, and this is going to be Z. I'm executing here. Just observe here what I'm passing. Here some labeling also we can do it. If sometimes I can, for example, I can pass like this also. Not in the order. I cannot follow the order also. But in any other programming language, you have to follow the order. You have to follow the order. That means first value is going to be the first value. Here second value is going to be second value. Third value is going to be the third value. But in Python here I am going to write some 10. Y value is going to be 10. This is going to be 100, and this is going to be 200. Just look at here. This is the first value, and this is going to be second value. This is going to be third value. If in any other language the output of X is going to be 10, Y is going to be 100, and Z is going to be 200. But here I'm going to write Z is equal to, and this is going to be X. This is called labeling here. That means here Y is equal to 10. That means here this label Y is there, then this 10 is assigned to this Y. Z is 100, then this 100 is going to this label Z. X is 200, and this X is going to be this 200. If I am going to execute it, if I am going to give like this, just understand here X is 200, X is 200, X is 200, and Y is 10, and Z is 100. Clear everyone how it is working? With the labels also I can work it. I can work like labels also, using these labels also. Is it clear? That means, for example, I am going to take Y is equal to A, Z is equal to C, Z is equal to B, and X is equal to C. For example, I am going to pass A value as 1, B value as 2, C value as 3. Then what is the values of X, Y, Z? What is the values of X, Y, Z? X value is 3.
Y is 1 and Z is
Y is 1, and like that. Okay, 1, 2, and 3, like this. Okay. In this way, the labeling also is going to be working. Don't worry about all these labeling and everything. Just simply focus on. I'm going to focus, and every time I'm going to focus on this one only. Here I'm going to pass 3 values. Here it is going to be do some operation on that, and we have to return the value. Just focus on that. Okay. If there is any default values, you have to pass here like this. That's it. There is no need of labeling or anything. If it is necessary, then we will discuss about that. Okay, and this is about functions concept. This is about functions concept. Okay, is it clear everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now I'm going
Yes,
to
sir.
write, yes, just understand what I'm writing here. Here I'm going to write a simple program of power function. Okay, power function I'm going to write here. I'm going to show you one more thing also. For example, this function is not here. Just observe here, sum of two numbers is not defined. Why? Because the function definition is always top of this. For example, this is the function call, right? This is the function call. The compiler checks here. The compiler checks here, not here. Okay, that's why it is the mistake. For example, here I am going to cut it. Here I am going to maintain. Here I am going to maintain. Here I am going to maintain. If I am going to execute it, it is going to be working here. How it is working? The function call is bottom of the functional definition. Then only it will be work. Clear? Then only it will be work. The functional definition is after the function call, that never works. Okay, when you are writing a program, you have to think like this. Okay, the function call is always top of the program. That is the best way to write any function definition. Okay, this is a brief intro about functions concept. Okay, I try to understand, and just we have to write some different programs, then you will get a clear idea and where to use and how to use the functions. The simple thing, when you are going for functions means we have to cut the program into small parts, and you have to observe. We have to get the results from the function immediately. That is the function. Then the program is more clear than writing in a normal and a traditional way. I will show you a simple program. What is that? I am going to read two values. That is a number is equal to int of input of. It is int of input of, and power value, that is going to be a power value is equal to like this, int of input of. Now I am going to write a power. I am going to write a power of num comma p, and I am going to print it. Just observe here. I am going to read here 2. I am going to read here some 3, and this is going to be the function call, and this is going to be the function call. If for example, if I execute like this, if it is going to be 2 and 3, it is going to be given error. No doubt about that. This is going to be give an error. What is that error? Name power is not defined. For example, ఎప్పుడైనా అబ్జర్వ్ చేశారా దీన్ని? when this error is coming here in Python programming, name power is not defined like that. For example, here I am going to print here a. For example, I am going to print here a. Now also it is telling that there is no value in the variable. It is also giving the same error. What is that? A is not defined. Like that, if there is no function, also the same error. What is that? Name power is not defined. Okay, and I am going to define it. Just I am going to ask you some simple questions here. What is the name of the function? Power.
Power.
And how many arguments I am passing? Two arguments. Is the function has any written value or not?
Yes.
Definitely the function has a written value. The function has a written value. Why? Because the function call is inside print statement. Okay, it is inside a print statement. That's why it has a written value. Now I have to write the function definition. We have to start with df keyword. Then I am going to write power, the name of the function. I am going to write the 2 arguments, and I am going to return something else. No doubt about that. Something result. I have to return something result. Simply I'm going to write some power function is there, num star star p. Simply I'm going to write num star star p. Result is equal to num star star p. Then I'm going to return the result. If I'm going to execute it, if it is 2 and 3, it is going to be 8 here. It is going to be 8. That's it. Nothing else. It is going to be written like this. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear what I'm doing?
Yes, sir.
For example, sometimes I am going to write this way also. If there is no function, here, just simply I am going to write just simply square of that. Just simply I am going to write the square every time I want the square from that. By default, I am going to get the square of any number. Just simply I am going to write like this also. This is working for 2 values. If it is, if I pass 2 values, it is going to be get the power of that number. If I pass only single value, it gets the square of that number. For example, okay, if I am going to execute it, if it is 3 and 5, it is 3 and 5. In the first step, I am going to pass the function with 3 and 5, and 3 power 5 is equal to 243. If I am passing only the single value, it is going to be get 3 square. Why? Because the default value of p is going to be 2 here. In this way, I can use in 2 ways the same function for 2 ways. Same function for 2 types. Is it clear? Function overloading. This is going to be a function overloading. Okay, this concept is called the function overloading. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes, sir.
Yes. The function is working as a 2 types here. That's it, nothing else. This is called function overloading. Okay, and now I'm going to create, whenever I'm going to tell you the functions in C or in Python, definitely I'm going to show you that how to create a header file. What is in a header file here? What is in a header files? For example, if you go for C, stdio.h and like that, right? Here also there are so many header files are there. That's why this Python is more powerful than any programming language. Why? Because there are thousands of header files are there. Predefined header files are there, and third-party header files are so many lakhs of header files are there. That's why Python is more powerful than any other programming language. The package is very high. For example, the very basic header file that is going to be math header file. Okay, how to import it? For example, there is a one function sqrt of for example 4. It is going to be tell that sqrt is not defined. Now I am going to import math, then I can use sqrt. How to import header files? How to include header files? Using import keyword, I am going to write it. Import math. This is one method. We can import the header files as 3 types. The first one is like this. What is that? Import math. Then I am going to call it as like this. Now it is going to be working as math.sqrt of 4. Then it is going to be print 2.0. Okay, and the second method as like this, as m. Now m.sqrt of 4. This is also the same thing. Okay, do you getting my point or not? Import math. That math is in header file. I'm going to work on that header file's functions. How many functions are there? I don't know. There are so many functions. And the third type of calling that is going to be from math import star. Okay, now I can call it directly like this. Here, if you observe here I am calling sqrt of 4. It is going to give an error like this. But when I am going to call the function, call the package like that, header file like that, it is working normally. Okay, that is math. What is math here?
Header file, sir.
Math is
Header
one
file,
header file. Header file means that in C that is going to be saved with .h. Here that is saved with .py only. That is also a Python file. That is also Python file. It contains a number of functions inside it. N number of functions. We can define n number of functions inside it. For example, now I am going to open a function, open a file, and I am going to save it as a header file, where I am going to save in the same folder, that is become coder. Here only my programs is there, and here some funds, not funds, header, some header funds, main underscore funds. Main underscore funds is my header file name. Main underscore funds. Okay. Main underscore funds. What is the use of this? This is also a Python file, but it doesn't contains the main program. What is that main program? That means it contains only function definitions. It contains only function definitions. For example, I am going to write a sum of a comma b. I am going to write here simply return a plus b, and n number of functions I am going to write here like this. I'm going to write n number. I'm writing here only two functions. I'm writing here only two functions. Okay. Okay. Now the function definition is not there here. The function definition is not there. If I am going to execute it, I am going to give here 1 and 2, and it is going to be give the power is not defined. Now, why it is giving an error? The power function is not here. That's why it is giving an error. To overcome it, we have to import that header file here. Simply I am going to write import. What is the name of the function? What is the name of the file? What is the name of the file? It contains functions. Main underscore funds. Okay, main underscore funds. I can, for example, as f, I can work with f dot like this, and I can work with f dot like this. If I execute it, just observe here, I am going to pass 1 and 2. It is printing normally. Okay, for example, if better understanding, I am going to print here like this. It is going to be printed normally. Is it clear? It is working normally, but is there any, the function definition is not here. The function definition is in here. For example, I can call this function also, and I can call this function also. For example, I am going to write here, instead of like that, I am going to pass two values, that is going to be sum of num comma p. For example, I can call like this also. Okay, if I am going to execute it, if these two are inputs, and observe here 3 plus 5 is equal to 8. Okay, I am calling all the functions. If there is 100 functions, I can call all the functions here. Okay, like this. Instead of that, I can write import math underscore funds, import star. Star represents all the functions. There is no need to call using f. We can call it as normally now. If I am executing like this, if it is 3 and 5, the output is going to be like this. Yes. What happens here? Just simply it is going to be called what are the functions in main underscore funds. They are going to be executed like this. First of all, it is I am going to call power of num comma pi. It is going to be check, is there any function definition in this program? No. Then it is going to be check the function in this main underscore funds. Yes, it is there. Then it is going to be use that file. Clear, everyone? This is the creating of packages or modules. Is it clear, everyone, how I am going to create module here? User defined module, this is our header file in Python. instead of they are calling as header file, they are calling it as a module. I'm going to create a module. Module means it is a collection of functions. It is a collection of functions I'm going to place in one file. That is also Python file. How I'm going to include it? There are three methods to include it. This is the best way to include it. Is it clear, everyone? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Just practice once, then you will get a clear idea about how I'm going to use functions, how I'm going to create these modules. Okay? And we have, I'm going to stop here. I'm going to stop here. Why I'm going to stop here?